Boom.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can't hear us. Why not? But he's on the thing.
I see you.
Hey, Seth.
Come out. Wherever you are.
Why can't he hear us? Oh,
I can hear him.
yes.
Seth.
Hello.
Wave. Oh, look, he's even got the bloody fella's T-shirt on. What about some self-promotion? How come we don't have a T-shirt?
Hang on, there's Memphis. I can put Memphis on.
Hey!
Randy.
How's it going, guys?
I can't hear Randy.
I can't hear any of you yet, so I'm going to go fix something real quick.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Hey, I can't hear Randers. What's going on? Randers is talking. Can you hear us?
You can. We can't hear you. Is your mic muted?
Is our mic muted?
No,
Is our
he's
headphones
not.
muted?
He's not muted. No, because we can hear. We could hear Seth. Do you know Auslan?
What's going on, man?
Oh, he just went away.
Seth, you there? What's going on, dude? Is this going on YouTube already? And he's gone.
Yeah, it is, but no one's watching yet. But it will be. Yeah, the replay will be on there.
Replay this will be on the replay.
Yeah, but
us sitting around trying to work out how technology works.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Great.
Riveting. Oh, Seth's he's muted his mic. Did he do that or did I do that?
Oh.
Hang on. Can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves.
He muted himself. Where's Kyle? Mate, we did this for Kyle to come on.
Okay. Well, we do have one person who is now watching our broadcast. Lucky person. We're the only ones here. So anyway, we're in the process of gathering people together. So if you're just patient, hopefully you've got a bit of time on your hands.
Yeah, plenty of time. It's like 10:30.
Well, we've got Seth from the FF Fellas somewhere in the ether.
He muted himself.
So you can see this white circle just here over there. There we go. I did it. Is Seth, and we're just waiting for him to turn his camera back on.
We did have Randy, but we couldn't hear him.
Yeah,
and there's hear us.
Comments on here. Hey guys, we've got now I can. Oh, cheers, Matthew, and I can even do stuff like this. See, I can go and put Matthew's comment on here. There you go.
Thanks, Matt.
Cheers. Thank you very much. See, and that's the good part of doing this, G, is that I can do this, and then people can.
I'm glad
say stuff. Possibly quite insulting, and I can throw it up on the. Hey, Matt, though we are.
I was going to go. I was going to go Denver style, Denver prohibition, non-prohibition laws, or what would you say? That's not prohibition.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
It's now legal in how many states? Lucky I didn't know we were going to be on YouTube.
States actually. Hey,
Seth is back! Yay!
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Had to figure out
right.
things here.
You muted yourself.
You apparently. But you are on and you are silky smooth, my friend.
Well, thank you very much.
Where's your comrade?
Probably still trying to wake up. We had a couple of drafts last night that went a little late. So I can imagine he might be slightly slow to get up this morning.
Mate, we did this for him.
I know.
Is he going to join you there, or is he going to log on from home? Like, he's just around the corner, isn't he?
It's a few more minutes. Not quite as close as you guys, but
okay.
Yeah, I am going to. I'm going to ping him right now.
I can walk from here to my joint from Majo's.
Yeah,
you could, but you don't.
No, I don't. I
drive that he has to make over here.
There we go. I'll turn that around like that. How's that, G?
Cool. What's Neil saying? Neil's been hanging it on me all. I think G should be practicing for tomorrow's draft. I've been copping a little bit of flack about tomorrow's draft.
So tomorrow we have the draft of our our
redraft, our very
first one.
ever. Yep,
that's been going for how many years? I don't even know.
8.
At least. It's at least 8
9.
years. Yeah.
So 14 teams, Seth. So I can tell you, mate, after about round 6, it gets a little bit hairy.
Yeah, that's the weird thing with the long-standing leagues like that. We had our main league of record draft 2 nights ago, and after round 5, things just went haywire entirely.
Hey, Memphis.
Does this sound better?
Yes, we can hear you.
It does. It sounds like you're talking in a box, but that's okay.
I am in a box.
There's a song about that, I think.
Alice in Chains.
Wow.
He knows his
Man
music.
in a box.
I'm not an Alice in Chains person. I know my brother was. I don't know if he was in it, but he knew all about that sort of genre of music back in the day. Not what I was into.
You didn't wear flannel shirts and act angry all the time?
Do you have to wear flannel shirts to act angry? My family would probably say no, I don't.
But I mean, I mean, Pearl Jam back in the day.
The flannel is what makes it grunge.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anybody can be angry.
Now,
Grunge people did it with flannel, though.
I mean, have you ran across any Damian Williams truthers? They're pretty angry.
Cannot confirm or deny which ones are wearing flannel and which ones are not.
Yeah, so, are you guys recording all this?
Yes. It's
We're
actually
on YouTube, bro.
It's actually live on YouTube.
just guys, just in case you decide to get naked, we are actually going out live on the interwebs. So, Randy,
Randy's about getting naked. I'm turning off.
I'll explain sometime when we're not recording.
Oh,
well, that sounds ominous.
Wow.
Kyle will be on momentarily.
Okay.
Where's Chefs?
I don't know,
mate. We had a bit of discussion. I sort of continued on from our discussion today about Dak and Zeke, and rolled it over into our pod about the Cowboys with Sheps.
You know what?
Yeah, it was fiery.
Kyle probably figured out that you didn't invite him to that pod, which is probably why he's hesitant.
Well, we did. He couldn't make it because of the draft you had going on.
Oh, okay. So you did reach out to him. All right.
Yeah. Of course, mate. Yeah, for sure. But
we wouldn't leave him out.
No. Right, but so me and Shep sort of got into about the whole Zeke stuff. We have different opinions.
Who's a more valuable player?
I think Shep's was sort of coming from the point of view as a supporter. He's sort of a bit over the drama, the whole drama, and as a supporter, I just want to move on. But I'm sort of coming from the
drama. Being
sorry?
a Cowboys fan. You can't move on from any drama if you're a Cowboys fan. That just comes with the fandom.
We actually made that point. He said every year, just sort of sick of it being something with being a Cowboys
every off season.
I know. Kyle says the same thing.
But I'm sort of at the point of view. I'm sort of coming from the players' point of view. Is that they're in it to make a living in a very short period of time.
Yep.
You know, and it's and as it's been said before, it's not. What was it? Peyton Manning's. It's not. Was he like one of the first to say, "Look, it's not my job to worry about the salary cap. That's your job. Yeah, I'm here to make as much money as I can."
I don't know for sure, but that's a pretty cool thing to say if he did.
Yeah, which is true.
Manning was all about 3 things. 1, all about making money, all about breaking records, and all about football. But he was definitely about his money.
Yeah, mate, that's fair enough. That we're not the owners aren't going broke by the football players that they're paying. Let's face it. They're
Not at all.
They're making an absolute ton. And look, and I listen to Mike Flory, and he makes a good point. Is that why do people get onto football players about how much money that they make, and when they sit out when they don't get paid for what they believe they should get? And they're all look like money hungry and whatnot, not thinking of anybody else and the supporters and the franchise. But when the owner does things to cut players or whatever they do, it's a smart, savvy business decision. And yet the owners are an absolute. They're all basically billionaires,
right?
The
Chargers owner, who's just a jackass.
So who's that?
Except for the Chargers owner, who's just a jackass.
And Al Dave
and Al Dave, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably not, but which is really surprising, really, isn't it? When you think of the team that he owns, like if you're going to see an NFL team's jersey in Australia, more than likely it's going to be a Raiders one. They're everywhere. Like they're probably all Chinese rip-off, so he's probably not making any money out of it. But
yeah. For what it's worth, I'm 100% with you on the players thing. I don't know what the exact the ratio is, but I'm pretty sure that the ratio of money going to the owners versus the players is higher towards the owners than any other team sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we talk about baseball like, oh, the baseball players are getting so much more money. But think about the owners of the baseball teams versus the players. It's much more equitable than football players.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the main arguments against that is, well, you have to carry a 53-man roster. Like, okay, yeah, so the billionaire doesn't get $1 billion; he gets $800 million. I have no empathy for the owner in this situation, where the normal, your more casual fan is probably going to say, or more likely to say, well, the player is making $150 million or, 100 or even $1 million on a year. That's more than I'll ever make. But nobody talks about how much the owners make, because I'm sure they have media things that force them to not do that.
Is there anywhere, like, I know the Packers put out a like an annual budget, like what do they call them, AJ? When a company puts out a
financial statement?
Yeah, financial statement. Yeah, are they the only ones that do it? Because they're sort of like
publicly
sort of publicly owned in a way, aren't they?
They absolutely are. That's an interesting point. I'm gonna go look that up right now.
Well, the part of the reason why the NFL Players Union loses all of these labor battles is because the average player age base is so much younger than other sports. Major League Baseball guys play well into their 30s and even into their 40s, and the same thing with basketball players. They also play into a much later age, so you're dealing with a much more mature player base, whereas the NFL tends to be 21 to 25-year-olds, and they just need that money. They don't have 10 years of money stashed away, and they got 15 people on scholarship. They have to get back to work. So it's a huge difference in the NFL. But I will say this, I'm pro-owner. You know what? Go ply your trade somewhere else, because who else is going to pay you that money? Whether it's skill, skills.
Hey, there he is.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, everybody got excited. Cole,
you're good. It's like, what other marketable skills do you have that you're going to go make millions of dollars?
You can't make millions of dollars anywhere.
It's a business. It's not, you're an employee, not a partner.
Yep.
You're an employee. So if you don't like your salary, that's cool. Go drive a UPS truck.
Yep. The future gym teachers of America.
Yeah, look, I won't agree with you totally, Memphis, but
I would just say this: the owners need the players a lot less than the players need the owners.
I don't know if you well, mate, we've seen other forms, haven't we? Like what was the American Alliance of Football? What was that? What was it?
The AF.
Yeah, well,
you're all about that AF.
We saw them start up, and mate, really, is that the quality of football that you want to go and watch? If all the good players turn around and go, okay, no worries, the owners don't need us as much as we need them, or whatever. I think your diluted product is going to be pretty poor, and before you know it, no one's watching.
Well, but I'm not talking about from a quality of a product standpoint. I'm just talking about from a business standpoint. If Jerry Jones doesn't get that NFL football TV revenue money, you know what? Jerry Jones has still got his real estate.
Can you see that, Kyle?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kyle with his big ass can of Monster.
Yeah.
Yep. Kyle's ready for his NASCAR podcast. That's with all those things in the background. We're all talking football here.
Where do you want me to do this shit at?
You seriously, mate, you got to get your ass over here, Kyle, and come and watch some touring car, mate, because we turn left, we turn right, we go straight ahead. We actually
turn right. Turn right.
We have steering wheels in our cars. Man.
No thanks. Lefts only.
Mate, seriously, you'd really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, you got V8, 700 horsepower cars, just aerodynamics just flying around the track.
Yeah.
And they sound really good.
Hey, listen, just so you know, we are going out live. So this is broadcasting. This is using a really cool, I don't really have to give them a shout out because the logo's in the corner, sort of that. Yeah, I can't really point in that direction. StreamYard, which is in beta at the moment, but it's going to become a paid service, but it's actually pretty cool. So if people make comments on YouTube, it comes up and I can pop them on the screen, which is really nice. But I'm going to be making a recording of this in any case, but it's also going to be on YouTube. So very nice.
Hey, before we get started, because you weren't on with us today, Kyle, because you had your draft on. Me and Sheps had a bit of a heated discussion about about Zeke.
Oh yeah,
and I know. Memphis and I had a bit of a tweet today, but that was more. I think that was more based around about Dak. But I don't know where you guys stand, but just see where you get a feeling where you guys are at. Is that the fact that I'm sort of getting a little bit jacked at the comparison that everybody's making about the payment that Todd Gurley got in regards to how the Rams now are going, oh my God, we shouldn't have paid our running back so much money. And I sort of get really annoyed with that. Is that with his knee injury, his knee problem, I can't understand that a business that is worth multi-billion dollars, and let's face it, there's not a lot of companies in the world now that would be worth, like there's a lot more companies that are worth a lot more money than an NFL franchise. But the fact that an NFL franchise is usually bought by one person, okay? So you have one owner. So one person has to come up with X billion of dollars to buy a sporting team. So there's not that many people that can afford to do that. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand how a company that's worth $1 billion plus, and if we look at the Cowboys that are worth probably I think at the moment they are the richest franchise. Like, I think that costs around about $4.5 billion to buy the Cowboys. Mm. How does a franchise worth that much money, that much investment, not go and get a full medical on a player that you're about to give serious money to at the position that he plays, knowing that he already has and came into the NFL after doing an ACL. Now, I would have thought that, okay, we'll take him down. I want him scanned every part of his body, especially his knees. Now, this is a generic problem he has. This would have been here way before he signed the new contract, and they would have picked up on that. So I get jacked that people going, oh, we can't pay, they're all the Rams are all upset because they paid, Gurley too much. That's your own goddamn fucking fault.
Whoa!
No, seriously, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
YouTube's on the phone. Whoops.
Seriously, and I get annoyed at the comparisons with Zeke,
Yeah.
who went through a college career with no injuries, has never been injured in the NFL, has never missed time through injury. He's missed time because he's an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's really, I hate people bringing up the comparison. I get sick of people bringing up comparisons between players with injuries that have different injuries to different parts of the bodies, which mean different things.
It's not about injury though. It was a bad contract for Gurley with 2 healthy knees. 2 healthy knees wouldn't make that $60 million contract any better. And just because Stan Kroenke's out there smoking meth, giving away horrible contracts, that means Jerry Jones has to follow a poor example. I know in the NFL, the next man up always gets X percentage more, but I don't blame Jerry Jones. You play a replaceable position. They start the season with a soft schedule, and guess what? Starting next week, Zeke has no income rolling in. I think Zeke breaks before Jerry.
Matt, I disagree with you. I think if the Rams went and Gurley was healthy and he played he ran for 150 yards, scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, which would have been enough probably to put him across the line against the Patriots. Mate, no one's talking about how much money he's making. Not at all. It all comes down to, it's got nothing to do with the player. It's got everything to do with the fact that now his knee's screwed. Mm-hmm. And I think his career's pretty much going down the gurgler.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, mate, if you get to the Super Bowl, you spend all that money. You do all this to get there, and you don't run your best player in the Super Bowl, no matter what. I don't care if he never plays another snap for us again. As long as he can run today and we win the Super Bowl, it's worth the $50 million I invested in him.
Yeah,
and they didn't do it.
Hindsight's undefeated in this. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. You're exactly right. If we didn't have this issue with the injury, they wouldn't be saying anything about it. But it's sunk cost at this point. It's done. With the running back position, it's easy to get caught up in the fact of, well, this guy is owed this much, because in my opinion, Zeke should be paid, as a based off of what he's done so far and where he's at in the league. He's a top end running back. But the thing is, from a business perspective, the league needs to look at this thing as far as the contract's really paying for what you're going to do, not what you did. So,
why was there no job market for Le'Veon Bell and the Jets ended up?
They're doing the right thing. These teams are doing the right thing by not paying these running backs. I'm a Cowboys fan. I love Zeke's my favorite player, and this offense is not going to be able to run without him like it has in the past. We've seen that a glimpse of that. There were other factors as far as other people missing time when Zeke was suspended during that 2017 season, but you got other bills to pay. You got other positions that are tougher to fill, with Dak Prescott's contract coming up. They just gave big money to Tank Lawrence. You need a pass rush. They traded a first round pick for Amari Cooper. They're not letting him walk after a year and a half. So they're trying to balance this all out. And, Zeke can hold out all he wants, and the Cowboys are going to be worse off in the short term for it. But if they offered him, a contract that even close to Gurley, I think he's going to take it. And that's probably a little rich.
Well, I will just say this. I also don't appreciate Zeke jumping the line 2 years ahead of his teammates and saying, "Hey, pay me." I mean, Dak's due. Dak's making chump change, and you're going to step in front of him and say, "No, take care of me first." It's a horrible optics. And Jerry Jones is the most influential owner in the NFL. Period. And if he goes out there and starts letting guys jump the shark by holding out and demanding contracts 2 years early, then that's going to force other owners to have to do the same thing. He has to hold the line.
Yeah. I don't think Zeke's doing the wrong thing. This guy's getting 390 touches a year. He gets worked like a dog, and he might not have another year, to be honest. What if he goes out there again and they run him just as hard as they've done? Now I think there's a good chance that could be it. So he's trying to hold off. He's trying to do what Le'Veon, learn from what Le'Veon did. I don't I don't really see a problem on either side. You know,
he's trying to lose $14 million. That's all Le'Veon did. He didn't recoup that money.
Yeah, it's not. I get that.
So he's learning from an idiot. Write that down.
He could.
Yeah, but he could
get no contract.
As I spoke to Sheps today, he's gone and looked at it. Go, hey, what? Oh, this DeMarco Murray. He runs. He becomes the leading rusher in the NFL for the Cowboys. Next year, boom, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Yeah.
Don't want you. Don't need you. So Zeke's sitting back going, that could be me.
Yeah. He's in a much worse spot, obviously, because he is under contract, and that's why it differs from Le'Veon Bell. But I totally agree with what Memphis said earlier. I mean, there's not much sugar. It's facts. The paychecks are stopped. You know, he's not going to be seeing any money, so the pressure is going to be on him. The Cowboys are in no position that they need to cave. But I get what Zeke's trying to do with this running back position. Unfortunately, it's not fair. Life's not fair, and it's definitely not fair for NFL running backs because these teams can work you like a dog for 4 years on that rookie contract, and you're not getting that second payday. There is no team that should ever pay a running back after that rookie contract big money. It's just not. And as much as I love Zeke, it just doesn't make sense. There's other positions that are more valuable that are going to give you long-term returns on that money. You're paying for what you're going to get, not what you did. So,
it's not like he's getting chump change. I mean, he wasn't like he was David Johnson, who was playing on a 4th-round rookie deal. He was the 4th overall pick. He's had about $35 million. He's not walking out of there with a ham sandwich.
Lawyers are expensive.
Hey,
they're paying people off.
There's an idiot tax.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing with Zeke, too. He's not getting – they're not as much as – he's a Dallas Cowboys running back. If he played this outright, he could have supplemented that income a little bit, too. But no one's putting him in endorsement deals anymore because he's out there still pulling girls' shirts down after he's already been in trouble, you know? So it's just like, this is it. This is his one shot. He's got to make it on the salary, you know?
But we want Jerry to make him the highest paid running back in the league with that track record of success.
I don't.
I know he's a good player, but
yeah, I don't.
Horrible business decision and horrible optics.
Yeah. I don't want him to pay him that more than Gurley. If they can get him close, and there's the rumor now, whoever leaks all this story and all this crap that he's got a contract that would make him the second highest paid running back in the league. If I'm him, just take the damn money and go. You're 2 years out from free agency. You have no leverage at this time, other than the fact that you got to hope that they can't do it without you. And when you look at 2017, they were horrible without Zeke there, but they also didn't have Tyron Smith. And they use a big piece of that offense as well. And that offensive line was not healthy. So, they're going to be worse without Zeke. But he just doesn't have any leverage right now.
Oh, hey, we just got a question from Matthew Gilbert, who's logged into YouTube. He just wants to know, how do you think Pollard will go if Zeke holds out?
I mean, we've seen even when Zeke was out, this offensive line is good enough that any running back is going to be put up from a fantasy perspective, can put up just solid enough numbers. So yes, exactly. So we've seen this game before with the Cowboys and this offensive line. Pollard is not Zeke. Zeke is a special talent, so I get why he's trying to get paid. But for me, Pollard is he's shown flashes. I don't think he's an every down back. He's gotten all the first team work, which is great. But this offense is going to take a step back, and because there's not another running back, maybe even a handful in the NFL that are as good as Zeke Elliott. So I think Pollard will be fine, for fantasy. He's going to be an every week starter, but I didn't draft Pollard anywhere because the dude's going in I saw last night he went in the 7th round.
Ooh,
I've been calling him the pumpkin because this guy is going to turn into freaking dust the minute that Zeke puts pen to paper or, gets his ass into the facility. So, yeah, no thanks after that. But if you want to play it safe and you're the Zeke owner, I get it. But other than that,
there's
too rich.
0% chance also that Pollard is not the only guy running the ball if Zeke is out. They signed Alfred Morris. Yes.
# old man strength.
Yeah. They signed Alfred Morris. They have a couple other running backs in the squad. And I know Pollard's been running with the ones, which is why everybody thinks that he's going to be the guy. Also because he's a rookie and no one cares about old players, Kyle.
Damn right.
Yeah. But Alf's been in this offense before. I think it's plausible to say that he doesn't need to run with the ones, whereas the rookie would. And they could have a plan to have Alf and Pollard out there in kind of a combo situation. So
Here he is now joining us on the podcast.
Oh, look at that. Hey, Zeke.
What can we do for you, Zeke? More money, man. Yeah. Get it.
More money, more problems. Zeke.
Yeah.
You hold on to your top there, Kyle.
Man. Yeah, that's
where are
true.
the abs?
That's why his hand is right here. So it's like reaching.
Mate, Randy saw him today at some burger joint.
Oh, yeah?
That was
One burger picture.
Grandis, that was an awesome photo, man. That was great.
Yeah. That thing's I've gotten that friggin' sent to me by like 4 or 5 people.
All right, so we should get started on why we're all here today, and that's to do our predictions.
Whoa! I got to intro.
I got to do an intro.
We were just talking about Zeke.
We'll move on from Zeke. My whole thing about Zeke has got nothing to do with whether or not he gets paid. I think he should get paid well.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the problem is that I hate the comparisons that people make because they're just totally flawed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, they're not. People don't think about this stuff in the right way, in my opinion. A lot of times, it's always just like, you're always going to be right when you're looking back on a situation and being like, well, it played out this way, so you did it wrong, or or whatever, or that was a steal because they took Russell Wilson in the 3rd round. I mean, those types of things. It just hindsight's undefeated. We say it on the show all the time. It's a ridiculous way to look at things. So yeah, the Gurley thing that ticks me off just as a human being. That dude is he's putting his body on the line more than anybody else in that team, and he got paid. Good for him. What was it, Kyle Longseth, who he was put on like the most overpaid player list for each team, and he retweeted that article and he just put shout out to my agent.
Yep.
You know, good for them.
Absolutely.
Well, are we going to start this?
Yes.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm already recording, so
let's go.
All right.
We're already started. Everybody's listening.
I've actually got a drink of the pod now, so
Yeah,
it's a little sad, but okay. Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie guys. I'm AJ.
Like you don't already know that. You've been watching us for the last 15 minutes.
That's right. Last 15 minutes. Last 42 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, 42. That's what it says on the little thing. 42 minutes. We are actually broadcasting live, but also this is, if you might be listening to this via our normal pod feed, and this is our 2019 predictions pod spectacular. Let's hope it is spectacular. I'm sure it will be with guests of this caliber. G, our good friends.
When are they coming on?
When are they getting
Our good friends, the FF fellas. We've got Seth and Kyle. How are you, gentlemen?
doing great. Thanks again for having us on. We're really looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. It's good to be back. G, dude, it was you were out for like a year and a half.
Where?
I don't know.
It felt too long without having G on the show.
AJ had to hold it down.
Absolutely knocking it out of the park, holding it down the fort. But the G comments that you can expect on every podcast to just
and the heat you brought
bonkers, a little bit wild.
Yeah.
We were missing that for what felt like a year, but I think it was about a month.
Oh, Memphis fires me up. He gets me upstairs. We're like a married couple almost now. Just argue. That's all we do.
Oh my! You guys, I'm sure know what it's like. It's a hard gig to do it on your own, and I don't know that it's that pleasant to listen to either. Like, you kind of need the yin and the yang.
Well, mate, I still haven't listened in. How long we've been doing 6 years? Yeah. I have never ever listened to one of our podcasts.
All right, Johnny Depp.
Mate, I listened to 5 minutes and heard my own voice and go, "Oh my god, that's it. I'm never listening again." Because how people listen to me is beyond me. I don't know how my wife has put up with me for 20 years. I think she's sort of trying to work out, realize that now after 20.
I was going to say,
she's doing a lot of late nights at the moment.
If that question occurs to her
at this point,
you're in a lot of trouble. We also have Randy Young, DFF Memphis, on the sort of on the line.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's muted his mic. He's there. He is.
I am here, kind of. Top secret.
He's at work. He's at
He's
work.
undercover.
Yep.
That's awesome. There he is.
Hey. He's come and gone.
He's come and gone. I was going to say, people don't really realize that Randy works naked, but
yeah.
Oh well.
If you have no idea
it's
what
considered
what we're
performance
talking
art.
about now, and you're just listening on the regular podcast, we can all see each other on the YouTube channel. So Randy is incognito at the moment.
Who's 42? Kyle? Sorry, man, for my lack of knowledge about NASCAR. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 42 on my hat. That's
it Kyle
NASCAR
Busch?
hat. It's Kyle Larson.
Oh, okay.
He's his favorite racer.
He is. He's a wheelman, bro. He's. I will see how much longer he's in NASCAR though, because he's a big dirt track guy. So he might hang it up before. He might pull an Andrew Luck on me, unfortunately, but we'll see. For now,
mate, we want to try and keep Memphis on as long as we possibly can.
What a segue, Kyle. That was professional.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was that as big a bombshell as we've almost ever had?
Dude, the timing of it was the craziest part. You know, I don't remember when Barry hung it up. Sorry, Jerry, but I was too young, wasn't as into football then. And I know when Megatron hung it up though, that news broke, I believe, the week of the Super Bowl, the week before. So people were still tuned into football and things like that. It wasn't like the dead of the off season. And I just don't remember it being as crazy. I think with the Andrew Luck thing, it came out of nowhere. There wasn't really any indication that this was going to happen. And in the world of fantasy football, that was the biggest draft weekend of the year. Like I know that I was at a draft with a bunch of people doing it live, and like the news pops. I was doing a draft at the same time on the Sleeper app. The app crashes, like Twitter's going berserk, and I'm just it was crazy. So I think all the circumstances around it, I felt really bad for Luck, because that was obviously not the intention to have that released at that time, and be out, on the field and things like that. He should have been able to do it on his own terms, but I get it. But yeah, for me, I mean, recency bias, but it was definitely one of the craziest things that I could remember.
Just, I don't know if you guys know, was that like a Schefter or a rap sheet thing? That, I mean, it was clearly leaked by somebody, because there's no way known, as you said, like during the game that that news would be leaked, because that was shocking. And then he had the post-game presser, and then he sort of had to basically do it. I don't know if he was planning on doing it then.
No, I think the idea was that he had a press conference scheduled for Sunday, the following after it, and it would have been like he would have been prepared, and I mean he had a speech already. I don't think he was just winging that speech. And if you haven't watched his post game conference, it's worth a listen. It's like 25 minutes, but you can really tell this was an agonizing decision for him.
It is gut wrenching. Right.
And I don't blame Adam Schefter for breaking the news, because that's literally his only job, is to break news when he hears it. I do blame the person that decided to leak the news during that game. Screw that guy, because Andrew Luck deserved better than that. I understand being upset. I understand being frustrated as a fan if you're doing all that kind of stuff, but good Lord, he deserved better than being booed off the field for his last time.
I also don't blame the fans for booing, to be honest, like in the moment, because we were just at that stadium last year with we drove out to Indy, hung out with our boy Memphis, and got to watch my Cowboys get their asses kicked all up and down the field by Andrew Luck and the Colts, unfortunately. But we were in that stadium, and that was playoff weekend for fantasy football. There is no service in there. Like the fact that so all people were getting were the couple people that could get either text, more than likely they probably couldn't get online. I know that the alerts that I did get, like notifications, all it said was Luck retires. That's it. There was no context to it or anything. And so you're just stuck. And then you look down on the field and the guy's just standing there like nothing's going on, because he probably doesn't know, that this got leaked. And then when he does get notified, right? Hey, Schefter broke this. You're outed, right?
Right.
What is he going to do? He's just going to turn around and start doing his speech right there on the sideline. Like the people in the moment, I'm sure a lot of them, there's always morons out there that are going to, be pissed beyond all means for no reason. It's his life. But I think that the majority of people, after actually thinking through, there wouldn't have been as many boos if this would have gone a different way. But
the biggest fans in town were at that game at that time. You're at a preseason 3 game.
Mm-hmm.
You've been drinking all day, and you're there in the fourth quarter of a preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
They're the biggest fans.
Yeah.
There is no bigger fan than that person. I mean, and I'm borrowing this from Colin Cowherd. I heard this on his show. It's like, these are people that name their dog and their kids Andrew because they're that big of a fan. Of course they're heartbroken. To Kyle's point, there's no context to it. So, and I'm sure these same people the next day that booed felt bad about it Sunday morning, but in the moment, a few Bud Lights in, they're pissed off. They're a little hurt. They just bought season tickets. You know what season tickets cost for an NFL team? And you think you're buying Andrew Luck and you're getting Jacoby Brissett. If that's not bait and switch, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Especially after what was it a couple of years ago when Jim Irsay said that, hey, Luck will be back, no problems. Buy your season tickets, get them now, and he never played for the whole season. So that fans are still cheesed off about at that fact as well.
And they lived through this twice in the last whatever. When did Peyton get hurt? Right, they had that season and were out of nowhere. He couldn't play. Right, and it was just a horrible season for that team because they were not prepared. And then when Luck was out 2 years ago, they're trying to piece it together by trading for Brissett right before, right when the season started. So they know that while this is a different situation, and I totally get it. I'm on board with the Colts being able to at least be a solid team based off who's there now and the team around Brissett. It's not Andrew Luck, so they don't want to go through that again, I'm sure. Because I know the years when Romo would go down and not be able to play, and we were sitting there, it's horrible. So I get it.
Okay, guys, how about if we actually get to some predictions and stuff?
Oh, yeah, is that what we're doing here? Oh, yeah.
I thought this was the Dak and Luck show.
yeah. The Cowboys and Colts hour. That's what I signed up for.
But hey, we do have to get back in the rhythm of drink of the pod.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's a bit sad. I just went to my fridge to get a drink. I've literally got that. That's all I've got in there. It's a Kaiju.
Not even worth bringing it out.
But a Kaiju Crush beer.
I like
it. Zero idea what this is like. But anyway, that's
Did I bring that for you?
Soul drink. Yeah, you did.
Mate, AJ went on this health kick, and I kept bringing drinks to the pod, and he just kept storing them away. That's not the idea of the drink of the pod.
Thank you very much.
I actually filled his fridge.
That's
free
nice.
alcohol.
Cheers to the 2019 NFL season.
Cheers.
I got stuck in the gin and tonics last night, mate, and I went to bed feeling a little bit shady.
Oh,
shady. No good.
Ugh.
No good.
Oh,
all right. Let's get this puppy on the way. All right. Where do you want to start, AJ? Are you leading this thing?
You do it. You lead it. Okay, so predictions.
The things we were discussing tonight will be the winners of each division, the AFC, NFC. We'll be discussing who will be the two teams meeting in the Super Bowl, plus obviously the two wildcard teams. The Super Bowl champion overall. We'll be looking at offensive and defensive player of the year, offensive and defensive rookie of the year, the coach on the hot seat, your riser for 2019 and your faller for 2019. Your big call, that can be whatever you want it to be. Doesn't have to be about a play. It can be about, I don't know, the water boy. I don't care, just as long as it's big. And then we have the play of the year, which was last year was the Miami Miracle against the Patriots. You could probably look at someone, as I tweeted out, I messaged you guys. You could look at something like the Odell Beckham catch, which is, he's still living on that. The Minnesota Miracle, just a big play. It doesn't have to be a turning point of a game. It just be something that we'll be talking about once the year is over. So there are our discussion pieces. So where would you like to start?
You call it.
Okay, let's start with the games themselves, and let's start with the AFC, and let's go through the East, West, North, and South, and let's talk about our winners. So
are you going to write this down?
Okay, I'll write it down. Thank you. Okay. We'll start we'll go at the top of the screen. So that's Seth first, Kyle. Then we'll go Memphis, and then us two.
Yep.
So AFC East, who's taking out the title?
AFC East. Well, this was a very tough decision.
Yes.
After
Hours of thought went into this.
It's been hard for the last 15
the Patriots
years.
are going to continue to dominate. Although I do think that the Jets and the Bills will offer more resistance than they have the previous decade, which is not saying much, but it's still worth mentioning. But yeah,
do you want to just stay in the East, get everybody's East, and then go to the next division, or are you going to get all of Seth's AFC, or how do you want to do it?
Oh, Seth might as well give us your whole list. Give us your 4 and your wild cards, and we'll move on to the next person.
Okay.
So we got the West then.
All right.
The
so West, Chiefs. Pretty stick there. South, that one is very difficult. After the Andrew Luck news, you want to think about the. No one wants to think about the Titans, but I think they're the odds-on favorite at the moment in terms of Vegas odds. Just because of their defense. I don't know, man. And you have the Texans, which is far more fun to think about from a fantasy perspective, but their defense is shaky at best, and they can't get an offensive line to save their lives. I'm going to go with Jacksonville because on paper, they should have the best defense. And if the Nick Foles experience is even
MVP.
It's even a little bit better than Bortles, which it should be at this point. It's possible that they have enough offense to outperform the Titans and then edge them out over the Texans. But it could go one of 3 or 4 ways here.
It could literally go one of 4 ways. You're right.
Who was your North?
The North would be I'm going to go with the Ravens. I am super high on Lamar Jackson.
High
this year. Might be high. Maybe I am. I just came back from Colorado. So I might still be feeling the effects there. But I think the Ravens, they're in it every single seasons. And Matthew Gilbert says, hopefully Texans can get Tunsil. Man, if that happens, they're getting raked over the coals in terms of giving up draft picks. They're going to be giving up their draft picks for like the next 3 years. It might be worth it though to protect your star quarterback. I know.
Speaking of getting high,
very good.
Okay, you two wild cards.
I'm going to go with the Steelers. Sorry, Browns fans. I don't think the Browns are going to be quite good enough yet to edge out the more experienced Steelers team. And then I'll go with the Texans as well.
Texans, very good. All right,
okay.
Carl, far away, bud.
Yeah, so some of these, like the Patriots, that's easy. Tom Brady's still there? Yeah, okay. Then they're winning that. So we're going where are we going next? South? West?
No, West.
West. All
Wherever
right.
you like.
So, yep, I'm going to stick with the Chiefs as well. I do think that the Chargers are really close. I wish they had Melvin Gordon, but the Chargers team is really solid. But that Chiefs with Pat Mahomes and that offense, everybody's back. Tyreek Hill obviously is going to be on the field right away. So I'm going to take Kansas City in the West to take that division. The only one that's really interesting to me, I think the North maybe, but the South with Andrew Luck retiring there's a lot of question marks. And I think it could be any of the 4 teams. There's not too many divisions in which you could say from top to bottom that they have a chance. But when it comes down to that, while I get, Jacksonville's defense is pretty good, I'm going to go with the best quarterback, hands down in the division. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. The offensive line is trash. Tunsil will be great. And they tried, I guess, to address the offensive line. I'm not quite sure how much that's going to pay off for 2019, but I think the Houston Texans are going to take the South. That one could be close. 9 wins could take that one in the South. And then for the North, I'm going to go with the Steelers. This one's pretty close. Cleveland's got a lot of hype, obviously, but I think Ben's got one last run in him. So I'm going to go with the Steelers in the AFC North. And then my wild card teams are the Chargers. I think this could be another year where like the Chargers have the second or third best record in the AFC and they get stuck, being a wild card team and having to go on the road. And they could pick up a victory pretty, that's definitely possible. But I think the Chargers are a pretty safe wild card pick. And then I will put the Cleveland Browns in there as a wild card team. They just have so much talent. For me, it comes down to pretty much them and Baltimore. But I think that Cleveland's talent of adding those offensive weapons are going to make the difference. And as much as I love Lamar Jackson for fantasy, we'll see if the NFL figures him out. There could be some struggles there. They have a really young offense, so it might just take a little bit too long for them to get rolling. But I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns, my second wild card.
All right, beautiful. I'm gonna go in real quick and say I might actually be high right now because I don't know why I would ever pick the Texans over the Chargers for the wild card. So I need to change that one.
Nope, he already wrote it down.
I wrote it. It's down.
I'm so sorry, AJ.
Mate, you even have a little Philip Rivers. It is in stone like Moses in the 12. Is it 12 commandments?
What?
Yeah. 10? 12? 10. How many is there?
How many is 10? There, did you say?
Oh, man, I'm not a Catholic. I got no idea.
How many is there?
How many is there? 10?
There's 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so
is there 12?
Yes.
Okay.
There is? No, hang on.
There's 10.
Oh, did I get it wrong? There's 10.
10 commandments. 10.
I got it wrong. I'll have some more.
Who would know?
Kaiju Crush.
All right, is Memphis there, or is he's gone back to work?
Yeah, I'm
he's there.
about out of time, so I'll just go through the AFC, and G has the rest of my stuff.
Yeah, I've got your stuff, dude.
AFC, I'll give it to Houston, the tallest midget. I think that's still a bad team. The defense didn't get any better, in my opinion. They're missing Jadeveon Clowney. Sorry about that. But J.K. Watt's still there. Bad offensive line, but I will go with Kyle on the quarterback play of Houston. No wild card from the South. The North, it's Pittsburgh, and it's easy. Pittsburgh's been quiet and refocused all off season. They're going to absolutely destroy that division. No distractions with Antonio Brown, just a bunch of guys. And if you watch them in that third preseason game, they demolished Tennessee. They just looked phenomenal. So big fan of Pittsburgh. In the NFC East, the AFC East, it's the Patriots. I don't even need to tell you why. It's the Patriots. In the West, it's Kansas City, the Fighting Mahomes. That's another obvious. And then the wild card, LA Chargers. Pretty straightforward. And then I'm going with the real wild card. I'm going with the New York Jets. Really easy schedule.
Damn.
The Jets do not travel west of Cincinnati. They play 0 games outside of the Eastern time zone. It's a very manageable schedule. They still get their 2 games with the Dolphins, 2 games with the Bills. I think they can split with the Pats, and I think they can do enough to finish in 9-7. And Adam Gase took the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs his first year in Miami, ironically also with a 9-7 record. And I just think Cleveland's schedule is just too tough. There's a real scenario where Cleveland could start this season 1-5 or 1-6. It is a brutal schedule, and I just can't invest and be willing to put my name on a guy named Freddie. Seems like a cool guy. Like I'd want to hang out and have a beer with him, but he feels much more collegiate. He feels much more Steve Spurrier. He feels much more Bobby Bowden. He does not feel like an NFL head coach. So because of that, I am going with the Jets and the Chargers in the wild card.
Okay. Oof, Jets. Wow.
But I'm the same guy on this very same pod last year who said that the Browns were going to go 8-8, and they finished 7-8-1 So I will hang my hat on that. I'm going to turn you guys over to my proxy G. He's got the rest of my things written down. I wish you guys all the best, and have a great rest of the show.
Cheers, Randy.
See you, man. See you, bub. All right. So, AJ, do you want to quickly rip through your...
Yes. Let me do that. Patriots.
Yeah.
That's one word answer for... And in the West, it's almost a one-word answer as well. Chiefs. Although I do have the Chargers for a wild card, so I'm going to throw that in now while I'm talking about the West. Now, in the South, I did put the Texans. I think that they're... look, as you said, that division maybe amongst all of them looks the most wide open.
Mm-hmm. But as divisional winners or wild card, Texans
winners of the division. Yep. And I went for drum roll the Browns.
Hey.
Ooh, there it
And I
is.
gave the Steelers a wild card.
Gotcha.
Because I feel that the Steelers, geez, I mean, they're hanging in there, man. It's a team where they just are perennially there, no matter what sort of lumps they take in any off season. They're always thereabouts, and the same can be said for Baltimore, But I think the Browns, man, they could be the story of the NFL in a way this year and win the division. And Cleveland will go bananas. Brownie fans.
They're going to totally be the story one way or the other. They are going to be a huge story this year, man.
They're going to be looting shops, turning over cars, setting police cars on fire, whether they win or lose. So get out of Cleveland.
It's a no-win situation. If they go 8-8, they're going to turn over cars.
Yeah, so mate, just put your house on Airbnb for around the end of the season. Get out for a holiday. Okay, I've got the Pats in the East, obviously. I've got the Chiefs in the West, same as everybody else. I'm going to jump on with AJ. I'm going to get on the Browns on the North. I just got to, mate, you have that much talent. And I know Randers was just talking about the head coach, and he's probably a bit more college than pros. But mate, you got a quarterback who plays the pros like a college quarterback. So mate, just match made in heaven. He's a professional quarterback, but he does, man. He plays it like he's still in college, and that's working for him at the moment. In the South, I'm going the Jags. I think they've learnt from the firecracker put up their backside last year. You just don't turn up the year after making the playoffs and think it's all going to happen again. I think they've learned the lesson there, and also they've got a better quality QB, and they've got a running back now that I think is going to show he's probably put his best season to date so far. My wild cards are the Texans. I just think their offense can be extremely potent. Offensive line, obviously, we already spoke about, and they've got a good enough defense. And I'm going to throw the Chargers in there because I just don't think you can leave Phillip Rivers and the boys out of the wild card. So, unfortunately, that means that I don't have the Steelers making it. So we'll see how that pans out. All right, so let's move across to the NFC. So, Seth, mate, you're up.
All right, so for the East, it's pretty easily the Eagles. Not quite as easy as the Patriots. Sorry, Kyle, but it's pretty easy. West, Rams, also very easy to go. The Rams there, after two horrendous performances in the playoff against the Bears and then the Patriots. Not the playoffs. The Bears were in the regular season. Those were the only two bad games of the year. Those guys are going to continue to be awesome. For the North, I'm going to take the Bears again. It's not going to be as dominant as it was last year, though. I expect Aaron Rodgers to be back fully healthy, new offense, and we'll talk about Aaron Rodgers on some of the other stuff we're going to talk about later. And then the Vikings, who the team I love this year. This is one of my favorite divisions in the NFL, not just because I'm a Bears fan, but because there's such good competition. And the North for the win.
And now you be careful now.
Sorry now. All right, so NFC South.
Careful.
Yeah, this one very, very tricky.
Remember my love for you.
Well,
don't influence them.
So I'm going to go with the Saints, though.
Oh, and we lost him. Oh, where did he go?
No,
just mute him. Just mute him. We don't have to lose him. Just mute him.
Just kick him out.
Yeah, I know. That offense, the Falcons' offense should be able to go toe to toe with anybody in the league. And the defense, though, man, we just haven't seen that defense now because everybody and their mother was on IR last year. That's definitely part of it. But I don't know if they're ready to go toe to toe with Sean Payton again and be able to edge out that division. So I do have them as a wild card, the Falcons. So
Don't butter me up now, mate.
No. Well, they're out of the wild card race now. No, I do have the Falcons in the wild card, and then I also have the Packers as the other wild card.
Packers, very good.
So
you don't
you-
want to
did you
change
put
it now before we bring up another team you haven't thought of?
No.
No.
So Seth, you do not have Minnesota in.
No, I
Okay.
have the Packers edging out the
right.
Minnesota Vikings for the wild card.
Got it.
All right, Kyle.
Oh, me.
Mate,
Yeah. So
on your soapbox, dude.
the NFC East, obviously easy, far and away. Dallas Cowboys. I mean, come on. No, but seriously, I'm never gonna pick against the Cowboys. So if you came here expecting a different answer, you don't listen to our show. I'm Homer. No, but the reason I'm still picking the Cowboys, even though Zeke might not be there for short term, their start to the season is a cakewalk. Giants, Redskins, Dolphins. There you go, 3-0. It's a tough slate after that. They're playing a first place schedule this year, so. But the defense is solid. The linebackers are locked up. They got Lawrence. They're now on a long-term deal, and I think that they can still be top dogs in that division. And Zeke will be on the field at some point because, like Memphis mentioned earlier, he's running out of game. He's running out of money, right? He's not going to get paid if he's not there. So Dallas Cowboys in the East. The West, I really wanted to put someone else in here besides the Rams, not because I don't like their team, but they were exposed a little bit by the Patriots last year, and we've seen great offenses not be able to duplicate seasons after getting bounced in the Super Bowl. So the problem is that the rest of that division is not great. San Fran and Arizona have a long way to go, and as much as Seattle always seems to be there, they're missing a lot of pieces. They don't have the receivers, I think, to keep up. Their defense is not as strong. They're missing some of their key pieces, whether it's due to injury, suspension, with Reed there in the middle. So I'm going to go with the Rams in the West, and I think they can take it pretty easily there. In the South, this is not to get on anyone's good side. I am going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. I think that their defense is going to be improved, but the thing that I've been on all off season is I think this offense is going to be just continuing to click in a big way. Dirk Cutter being there for the first time in his first year in his second stint, I think this offense is just going to be one of the tops in the league. The receivers are awesome. Freeman back is going to be big, and Matty Ice is just underappreciated in this league. So I think he's going to have a big year. So I got the Atlanta Falcons, and then I do have the Packers bouncing back. First year head coach Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers can get along enough to be tops in that division. I do like the Bears. I have them as a wild card team, but they're playing a first place schedule. And those worst to first teams sometimes do regress a little bit, but I do think that the Bears are in for a nice season under second year coach Matt Nagy. So I got them as a wild card, and regrettably, I do have the Philadelphia Eagles as a wild card team as well. They added a lot of weapons around Wentz this year. I think he can stay healthy enough to make this, make them a playoff team. So they'll obviously get bounced in the first round, but I will put the Eagles in.
AJ.
All right. Eagles.
Mate, when I say your name, it's like I wake you up. Are you not listening to what anybody has to say?
What are you talking about? I am in the engine room here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
As a fellow producer, AJ, I know exactly what you're saying here.
As someone that produced like 6 of our 400 episodes, I'm with you too. It's a tough job.
criminally
I've
underappreciated.
never produced anything.
Never.
2 kids is about all I've ever
I was gonna
produced.
say you got it.
That's
Never
it.
mind.
Man, the heartache that I had to go through that one day that I had to explain to you,
Oh,
press that little square, then file, save as. Man, that took that was 30 minutes of my life.
come on.
Okay. Eagles is an easy one. Rams as well, I reckon, is an easy one. Then it starts to now. This is NFC is a lot tougher to really sort out than AFC. There's no doubt. And in the South, I did go Falcons, partly because of my physical proximity to G and those guns.
A wise decision all around. I'm far enough away that I can withstand G's wrath.
No, but I do like the Falcons. And incidentally, as wild card, now, man,
I can't do the 2 guns in it. It hurts my shoulder to do the
Oh,
2
really?
guns. I have to do that. I can do
There you
that.
go.
There you go.
you can do the. Speaking of of what you can do there. Although that's not really quite the same. Forget that segue. But I've got the Panthers as a wild card, and I also have the Cowboys as a wild card.
So who'd you have in the North?
I got the Vikings, and that means the Packers missed out completely.
And no Bears either then.
No. But you know what? You can't get away without making a call. You can't get away. Someone's going to miss out.
Yep.
And someone's going to miss out that everybody's going to be shocked by, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe X missed out. It'll be someone.
Yeah, there's so much more parity, like you said, in the NFC between all the teams of the divisions.
Right.
There are in the AFC. The AFC North being the exception.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to keep everybody happy. That's what I do.
I like it.
In the East, I have the Cowboys with Zeke.
Darn right.
Minus Zeke?
Yeah.
Sorry. No. In the West, I have the Rams. I think everybody had the Rams. I'll let you know what Randy had in a minute too. In the North, Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, Bears.
In the South, I have the Falcons. I just think as we spoke about, mate, this offense, mate, they can click up 30, no problems.
No one's talking about them.
No,
they're not really, are
No.
they? They're not. And that's fine. We've got mate. You look at Calvin Ridley, the number 2, mate, and he's as a rookie put up he had some big weeks which sort of supplemented it, but mate, the guy still put over 1,000 yards up as a rookie. That just goes to show what this offense is all about.
Yeah.
And we're having Freeman back. We're going to get Freeman. We had 2 years ago. Who knows? I don't know. No one knows. He believes he can, and that's all, mate. It's good enough for me. Self-belief goes a long way. So as my wild cards, I have the Saints, just because it's Drew Brees and that offense as well.
Yeah.
And that they do have a defense that can stand up. And I have the Vikings. So that means I have the Eagles missing. I have the Packers missing. I just don't know where the Packers are at the moment. I don't know how well they're going to gel. Aaron Rodgers seems like a really hard guy to please.
Oh,
a really hard guy to please.
Yeah.
And look, the only way you're going to please him is say, mate, you just do whatever you want. And really, football teams don't work that well when that happens. So that's where I have it. So that brings us down, lads, to
Randy.
Oh, Randy.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Can't forget about our boy out there putting in the hard hours.
Randers in the NFC. He has the Rams.
Tick.
The Phillies.
Tick.
Green Bay.
Ba-boom.
New Orleans.
Ugh.
And his wild cards are Dallas and the Falcons.
Okay.
Nice.
So he's only annoyed.
Slightly redeemed himself.
He's
only
annoyed
pissed off
Seth.
Seth, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
And I'm not even pissed off because, like I said, all 3 of those teams very, very close.
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Okay, so that brings us down to our AFC champion and our NFC champion. Who will be the 2 teams facing each other in Super Bowl? What are we up to?
9.
52?
Who knows?
Is it 53?
Like 3 or 4.
53.
It's a
50.
low number, isn't it?
50 something.
Yes. It is. Yes. But
Okay, so who have we got? Seth, who are the 2 teams facing off? And then give us your winner.
Yeah, so I have the Patriots once again. Yeah,
What?
coming out of left field on that one.
What the hell?
Just give
What
it-
basis do you have?
Retire and get the hell out already.
You pulled that one straight out of your ass. I don't know where that came from.
We're so over the Patriots dynasty. We get it. You're the greatest dynasty in all of sports forever. Just shut up and let us continue on from now. Give Rivers a chance. So I'm going to go Patriots over the Saints. I think Breeze finally get there, and it's going to come up short again because Bill Belichick is almost impossible to be beat.
Mate, that'd be it. He'd give it away then, wouldn't he? Mate, look,
if Drew made it there and then fell short,
he'd rather go out there and get absolutely sorted than what's happened over the past 2 years.
I think so.
Yeah.
But man, New Orleans would just be They have Mardi Gras, so they just get drunk all the time anyway. But yeah, the New Orleans would be very, very sad.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then we have, obviously, as you said, we have the Patriots going for another one. Just add another ring. Well, unbelievable. All right, Kyle.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
I really hate that call from Seth. I just don't need that.
It's 54, by the way. Super Bowl 54.
Ah, well,
54.
Right.
all right.
I can sleep tonight.
I'm gonna go.
I'm here.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs representing the AFC. I think that that offense is just too high powered. They can make another. Oh, dude, the Bills just cut Shady McCoy.
Oh,
News.
Yeah. Dunzo, Frank Gore, damn it. Just
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I need to play a riser.
I cannot be a
Big
part of this.
All of that stuff is changing right on the fly.
I'm retiring from the league. Just F it.
No,
man, the Texans are going to be all over Shady, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Damn it. He should go there.
Evan Singletary's ADP just rose.
Yeah. Get ready.
Everybody's going to go after Singletary.
Actually,
go after
just
Gore.
hang on. Pause the record. No.
Dang it. We just had our big home league draft on Thursday, and there's some keepers in there, and dang it, dude. I was gonna take Singletary like in round 7. I'm like, forget it. I'm just taking him. Running backs are going crazy. And then this guy 2 picks ahead of me who always takes all the rookies no matter what. He took him right ahead of me, and now it's looking mighty fine. So
unrelated.
I think I've done 3 redrafts, and I have him in all 3. I think I even took him in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I did.
Dang, dude, it's
Gee.
well, and there goes my Carlos Hyde hope to be the Texans running back. It depends. If the Chargers really want to piss Melvin off, go get Shady. Because Shady, what does he need? He doesn't need the money anymore. He's looking for rings.
Yep.
You'd hope. Anyway, then again, you did side with the Bills. So, but
so who'd you have called for?
So I got the Chiefs representing the AFC, and then I have the Falcons representing the NFC.
Ooh.
I think that they are gonna I think there's a few factors to this. I think the Saints take a step back. I think this is the beginning of the end for Drew Brees. They did not make the playoffs in my predictions here, so I think the Falcons, with that helping them. I like all the teams from the North, but they're going to cannibalize each other just a little bit. And I'm not sure there's like a clear number 1 there. And like I said, with the Rams, I just think there's a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover there. So I'm going Falcons, Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And
that's right, dude. It's fine.
I'm going with the Chiefs, man. I think it would be a hell of a Super Bowl for sure, man. That scoreboard would be lit up. But I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs as of right now. But Chiefs over Falcons.
And Kyle, you are such a highly intelligent gentleman, and we love having you on. Very considered opinions, and I think at the end of the day, ultimately quite correct as well. It's exactly the same as what I've got. Chiefs Falcons with Chiefs getting across the line.
We're not going to.
That would be a very fun Super Bowl. It'd be a lot more fun than my Super Bowl. I hope
your Super Bowl would suck.
Patriots and Saints, please.
I'm living in the real world for this pick, so my other picks later on don't sound so outlandish.
All right. Well, I have the Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl, and I have them playing against the Falcons.
Oh, get out of town!
And I also have the Chiefs beating the Falcons. I got to be realistic, and I just.
That's awesome.
Look, it's one of those. When I look at it now, I thought, the Chiefs are just going to be too. The thing I have, like, both defenses suck. Well, not suck. They don't suck. That's the Chiefs' defense is really poor. The Falcons has been poor, but that's based on injuries, and I think that's going to take a. Now that we got our boys back, Neil Jones for a whole season. But look, you got two defenses that really haven't proven anything of late. I just, for some reason, I just think this Chiefs offense is just so littered with guys that can just light up scoreboards. I just think in the end, it'd be an absolute sprint to the end just so you can put up the most points. But I just feel the Chiefs in the end would just have it's just the Mahomes thing, isn't it, really? It's the mayhem.
How good would that be?
Yeah. So there we have three guys with it all. That's unbelievable.
What did Memphis have?
Memphis
awesome.
had. He won't have this. Memphis has his two teams playing off for Kansas City and the Rams.
Ooh.
With the Rams.
Oh, there we go.
Doing the
redemption
Chiefs
story
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No. But again, it's a good wouldn't mind watching that Super Bowl though.
Well, no, really?
That would be
after,
awesome.
After what the Rams put up last year?
Ours is better.
But that Chiefs Rams game from last year, holy crap. The NFL would just be they'd all be changing their pants if that was doable.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go away from real football in a sort of way, and we'll go on to some. We'll go into the offensive player of the year. Now, this has most of the time been a lot of the time of recent has been a quarterback award. We did have Todd Gurley sort of sticking his nose in there and destroying all that for a second. And mate, last year, if it wasn't obviously for what Patty Mahomes did, we would have been probably saying that Saquon Barkley was the MVP, offensive MVP of last year. So we'll keep going with the way we've been doing it at the moment. We have Seth at the top. Give us your MVP, your offensive player of the year.
Yeah. So do you want offensive player of the year and an MVP?
No, we're not doing it. Well, you find that the MVP, if you look at it, mate, usually like either the defensive or usually the offensive is the MVP.
You can throw it in there.
But you can throw it in there if you want, mate. That's fine.
I have it as the MVP will be Aaron Rodgers because I think this is going to be the biggest FU season of history for Aaron Rodgers. He's going to come out there and just light people up. It's like, yeah, I was putting the team on my back all this time, and McCarthy was dragging me down. But the offensive player of the year,
but he's going to have to do that, Seth, because he's made it very clear that that was the case.
Yes, absolutely. If he is mediocre this year, even if he gets injured and it's not really his fault, if he's in anything less than peak Rodgers this year, his legacy will be forever tarnished. I think. Which I hope is not the case because I think he is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. But onto a quarterback that's not the greatest we've ever seen, but will be very great in 2019. I'm giving the offensive player of the year to Kyler Murray.
Whoa!
What
of my predictions? This
you say the offensive rookie of the year.
Also offensive rookie of the year. Yes.
Oh!
Strap in, folks. This is gonna be a wild ride.
Oh my god, this is like one of those roller coasters that gets to the top and
interesting.
stops, and you're stuck there for like 4 hours, hanging upside down while the blood rushes to your head.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is, like I said, my real football takes were rooted in reality because this one is going to go off the rails for sure. Offensive player of the year, Kyler Murray, and as well as offensive rookie. So patch that in. I think this team is going to score a lot of points. And I don't know how many games they're going to win, but they're going to score a lot of points. And it's going to be very, very interesting for fantasy.
You didn't watch preseason?
Jeez. Offensive player of the year. Oh my god.
All right, Kyle, give us your guys. I don't know if we can move on from that.
That's interesting, man. I
need a defib. Have you got a defib?
So we're offensive play. Are we doing MVP at the same time? Sorry, I was arguing.
Shoot it out there.
All right. So the offensive player of the year for me is going to be Aaron Rodgers. I agree that I think that I have him as a playoff team. I think he's going to turn it around, and he's going to earn that award. But for me, the MVP this season is going to be Matty Ice. I think I'm obviously high on the Falcons getting there. I think this offense is going to be unreal this season. I really hope so because I'm buying in almost everywhere. So I think Matt Ryan is going to be the MVP for 2019.
And who was your offensive player of the year?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron. Oh, okay, so I had him wrong way around.
Not that, and I think Mahomes is obviously going to put up big numbers, but he won't do what he did last year. And he was just all over. He won everything last year. So you don't see. I mean, look at the voting is never logical. You could easily just give MVP to Tom Brady every single year, but they don't usually do that, right? So I think that it will get mixed up just a little bit, and that's what I'm going with those guys.
AJ,
my offensive player of the year and MVP is envelope, please. Christian McCaffrey.
You got to read out the wrong movie.
No, I'm certainly not going to. Christian McCaffrey, because he's going to be the first.
I actually thought about him.
Player in NFL history to have 1,000 yards rushing, 100 receptions, and 1,000 receiving.
Dang,
over David Johnson.
Yeah, he came so close. Last year he had 1,098 yards rushing and 107 receptions for 867 yards, and I think he's going to go a little bit better this year. And with that kind of a season, I think it's going to be a shoe-in for offensive MVP, offensive player of the year, and MVP all in one package. I think he takes it out.
Dig it.
Okay. I haven't done an MVP because I made up these rules, but you changed them on me.
Wing it.
So I'm going to get my. I'm going to go back. I worked with I doubled up last year on Aaron Donald, which turned out to be correct. So I'm going to double up on Mayhem. I think Mayhem will be the MVP again this season in Mahomes, just because I have him on a lot of teams. So I want him to be the MVP.
You're invested.
I'm very invested. And my offensive player of the year, based on the fact, and as Kyle has been so good to pump up my Falcons, mate, I think this is the year that Julio Jones breaks out.
Hey,
his breakout season. Julio, he'll go for
3 wide receiver in the NFL is breaking out this year.
That's his breakout year. Mate, he's going to have his season high touchdowns, and he's going to easily crack 1,500 yards. So I'd see Julio Jones I think he's pretty happy. They give him every time he asks for more money, they give him more money, and he responds. And I think he knows that it's getting near the end now. He's not in his prime. He's just on the other side of his prime. But I think this is the year that the Falcons offense really just brings back what we had in our Super Bowl run year.
So
very nice.
So that's 11 touchdowns to beat his overall best from 20.
I hope you're right.
No, he's going to have more than that. He's going to be about 14.
15. Oh, there we go.
15.
I like it. Yeah,
15
I like it.
touchdowns. Oh man,
dude, I dig it.
Julio truthers everywhere would rejoice.
I just traded him in a dynasty league. So,
oops. No, mate, we didn't say we get the brightest sparks on this show. We just we get.
I did take him.
We get our mates on.
I did take him at 13 overall in our big redraft league we just had. So I got him in a lot of places.
Yeah, we got one tomorrow, our original one. It's a 14-team league. I'm picking at 12, and my fingers are crossed, mate, that I don't think he will, because I think, David Johnson's going to fall too far. So it's going to take away a spot. I think he's going to go just before I want him. But if he's there, man, I'm grabbing him. All right, defensive player of the year, please, Seth.
All right. Aaron Donald should always be in consideration here, but I'm going to go a little bit homerish here and say Khalil Mack. Year 2 with the Bears in the same offense, although it's not led by the legendary Vic Fangio. It'll be the less than legendary Chuck Pagano. I think Mack's talent will be able to shine through, and he's going to annihilate people this year. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Unless you're the opposition.
Yeah.
Playing against and they're supported.
The Mac attack.
Yeah. And John Gruden. He's sitting there. What's that happen?
Winner. Gee, winner. Christmas. This guy's good.
Not going to work with me.
Do you know what you need in football? You need good pass rushes.
Where do you find those guys?
Like the one that just left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Kyle, defensive player of the year, please come on down.
Chalk. Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's going to be the man.
Donald, your brother.
Donald. Yes, whatever.
You put a lot of R's in words.
What I do, man. That's what I do. Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, chalk. Move on.
AJ.
There's no one close.
My pick this year is the same as my pick last year. And your pick last year, G, you got it right because you said Aaron Donald last year.
Yeah.
And I said
to back, and you said, no, that's not going to happen.
Yes, because I said it was going to be Myles Garrett. And I wasn't – Myles Garrett had a good year, and he's going to have a better year. He had 13 and a half sacks last year. It's coming into year 3. That offense, obviously, we know how good the offense is going to be. The defense is going to be sneaky good. And the front 7 especially, or even the front 4, they brought Olivia Vernon in. It's a nice add. Sheldon Richardson and Larry Ogunjobi, who you can't – I mean, obviously you're going to double team Myles Garrett, but you can't sort of block all of those dudes. So it's very tricky, and I think he's going to have an absolute – well, breakout is a hard word to say for a guy that had 13 and a half sacks, but I think he's really just going to take it to the next level.
Yeah, mate, it'd be good if you had him on your roster, like some people do in the Too Legit League. But that's okay. And defending champion. Just let me. All right. I'm riding that thing, mate, until it
trophy or didn't
tell you. Okay, and my defensive player of the year, I went with the back-to-back last year. AJ said I was a fool. I'm an idiot. It doesn't happen.
I don't know if I said that. But.
This year. 3-peat.
Aaron Donald
is going to 3-peat it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty talk.
Wouldn't surprise me. Of course, he's a bloody machine.
Okay. Yeah. Offensive rookie of the year. Let's skip Seth because I can't listen to that answer again. Kyle.
You're not going to like the rest of my predictions.
Who you got, man? Come on. Bring this into the realm of reality.
I am gonna steer clear of Kyler. It's tough to always go against quarterbacks because they usually get the benefit of the doubt. But outside of Kyler, I don't think that Jones or Haskins has the talent and or opportunity to make that happen. There's other factors, teams around him, things like that. So I'm gonna go. This one hurts.
What's that? What are you looking at the window, man? What's out there?
There's I got another screen over here. I got a whole operate. Well, the window's right behind it too. Windows over there too. I don't want to. I thought about this.
You can't go hotter than my Kyler Murray pick. So I'm
going Miles Sanders. I think that I think that I don't really like any of the rookies to have huge seasons. And I like Jacobs a lot, but I think Sanders being on a team that's going to be more successful this year, I'll go with Miles Sanders as the offensive rookie of the year.
AJ.
Yeah, I went Kyler Murray. So there you go.
But at least you're sensible just to have him as
still there, right? I'm not so crazy that people can't think this is a world that can't occur.
Yeah, what? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, of course it can.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
And a guy like this is you could see him having
a Middle Earth.
A guy you could see him having a good season because quarterbacks like this, it takes time for teams to figure them out. Kind of.
Yep. Yeah,
he's got that flashy arm too.
Yeah. That's right. So that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Anyway, okay. Kyler Murray.
Yep. Well, that's more base reality than the whole offensive player of the year, but
yes,
I can get that. I can be on board with that. But my offensive rookie of the year, mate. Look, when I look at it, I look at the quarterbacks and go, well, there's nothing there that it jumps off the page to me. I look at the running backs and go, well, if Josh Jacobs is the best thing that's out there compared to what's going to be coming out next season. And then you look at the wide receivers, and that's just like, we have all this fanfare, and at the moment, none of them are sort of lighting any sort of wick at the moment. So I'm going TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh,
as the rookie, I think he's already shown up in camp. He's shown a little bit. I think once the season gets started, Matt Stafford is going to be finding him quite a fair bit.
I like it. That's a good call, man.
Nice.
All right. I'll go through Randers when we've been through it all, and I'll give him all his.
Okay.
So defensive rookie of the year, Seth, you're away.
So I'm going to go with Nick Bosa here. He's on the 49ers, and he's playing against the Rams. It'll be difficult to play well against, but you're playing against Arizona and Seattle twice, which are bad, relatively speaking, offensive lines, or at least not that great. So opportunity to get a ton of sacks, and he was one of the highest rated defensive players in this draft. So Nick Bosa, that's fairly chalk, I think.
I'm going with Devin Bush. Steelers linebacker, going to get a lot of pub, going to get a lot of opportunities to earn all those votes. Steelers are obviously on prime time a lot. I think Bush is somebody that obviously they felt really good about. They moved up big time in that trade with Denver on draft night to go get their guy. So I think Devin Bush. For me, when I'm looking at the list, Bosa being a little nicked up this offseason is what concerns me with him. So I'm going to go with Devin Bush. I think he's going to be big time. He could really be up there as far as tackles and all the counting stats too. So I'm going to go with Bush out of Pittsburgh.
You're not kidding. I feel the same way. I mean, Bosa, I think, is going to have a slow start. He's going to be hampered by injuries, and who knows? The guy looks amazing, of course, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll just have to see what happens with that. But I had Devin Bush as well because I think that he's just going to be. He is going to just be a tackle machine. He is an all-round good linebacker, but his run stopping ability is better than his coverage ability, and I think that the Steelers knew that in getting him, and he's just going to sit in the middle of that defense and just soak up tackles basically. And we saw him explode in the preseason already. I think he's going to be as a rookie, even from a fantasy perspective, he's going to be he's going to explode. So anyway, G,
easy, mate. Once this guy gets rolling, he's probably the most dynamic, explosive, athletic defensive player on the line, and that's Josh Allen. I reckon once he gets rolling in Jacksonville, he's already shown a bit in preseason. Mate, the dude is seriously like, mate, what I don't know.
Good.
I'm trying to think of like an explosive that works really well. It's like like splitting the atom, mate. The dude is that explosive. I just think once he gets going, mate, you're gonna see a very dominant edge rusher.
I'll tell you, a sneaky one who excites me more than him is Brian Burns. Far out, that dude looks like. In the preseason, he has looked amazing. So if he carries that form into the regular season, oh my goodness.
Yeah, a lot. Anyway. The defensive guys are a lot more interesting than the offensive players.
Oh, without a doubt,
it's going to be fun.
Without a doubt. All right, now we've got that through. I'll give you what Randy's choices are. Randy, offensive player of the year this year is Mayhem, Patrick Mahomes. Defensive player is Homer pick. Who do you think his Homer pick is?
Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's still a bit annoyed with two guys that actually just went and grabbed him without knowing who he was in a draft.
Dumb luck. Dumb luck.
Yeah, I was talking to him last week.
Single-handedly dragging us to the championship game.
Yeah. Yeah. That team had friggin' Derek Carr and Andy Dalton as our quarterback last year. I don't know how
it didn't pay off for you,
Darius Leonard just straight up pulling us to the championship game.
Yeah.
Memphis's offensive rookie of the year is Miles Sanders. His defensive rookie of the year is also Josh Allen.
Hey, very nice.
So there we go. All right. So that moves us on to we'll leave that one. We'll go to the risers and fallers. So Seth, who is going to be the riser in the NFL this year?
All right. So the rise has already started. For this guy, I'm not saying that it's going to be warranted, but it will happen because this is how the media works in New York. And I'm talking about Daniel Jones. He's already lit up the preseason from a statistical perspective. Obviously, he has to be good. Doesn't matter if he's playing against second and third string teams. People just look at the box score. What Daniel Jones has done right now that is good is that he's met a minimum threshold of competence against very basic teams, which, in fairness to him, some people thought he wouldn't be able to do coming into this season. But player riser Eli's going to struggle the first couple of weeks, and then all of New York is going to just rise up as one and say, Daniel Jones, get him in. You spent the ninth overall pick or the sixth or whatever, Gettleman. And Gettleman's going to laugh at everybody and not do anything for 2 more weeks. And then the owner will put pressure on him to do it. So Daniel Jones is the biggest riser just because that media market is absolutely bananas. And it will be demanded of them.
Well, I'm going to jump in because I too have Daniel Jones.
Hey, I'm on the same page as somebody.
Mate, let's look at the base of his stuff. Mate, the dude is a pile of ashes. He's been cremated. He's been buried. What else can you do to a human body? Decapitated, put to the stake, crucified. Mate, the guy hasn't even played a snap yet. Mate, and if I hear one person anywhere that comes out and said, I believed in Daniel Jones, you are full of shit. Because I have heard – did you put your hand up?
No, I'm just kidding.
So, mate, he's starting from the ashes. And, mate, look, granted, says it's not a long way to rise up, is it? But, mate, the guy has a really good chance of being something at the moment because at the moment, mate, people don't expect him to be anything.
Right.
I'm going with you on that.
The most common refrain from analysts this time next year are going to be, well, I didn't have Daniel Jones as low as everyone else.
Yeah.
It's going to be that covering your butt.
I didn't say he wasn't, he's not a good quarterback. I just said, that's not a good spot. That's a bit high to pick him in the draft. Yeah. Okay. Right. Whatever. Yeah. Crap. All right. Kyle.
This doesn't have to be just rookies, does it?
No, mate.
No.
Okay. I was like, why Daniel Jones? But I get it. I'm going with Seth's boy, man. Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
He's going to have a big time season this year. I like the second year of that offense. This is a kid that only played 1 year as a starter in college. That he had his redshirt year in the NFL under John Fox, but his second year under Matt Nagy. And I like what they have around him, adding David Montgomery. Gives a running back that doesn't just shoot off flares for the defense every time Jordan Howard came on the field. We're like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about him in the passing game. So I think that the offense is going to be much better than even it was last season. So I think Trubisky's in for a big year, takes a big step, and I think he's going to get some MVP votes.
I can see that happening. And there'll be a lot of love when you two get together and do your next pod because of it.
So, you're a big film guy. Do you ever watched Brett Coleman on YouTube? He does a series called The Film Room.
No.
Okay, so he's a guy that I discovered through other people, but Brett Coleman and the series is called the Film Room. He did like a 25-minute video on Trubisky last season, and he said in like his 10 years of doing film watching, this is the first guy he's watched quarterback that he has no idea how to project him going forward because he sees all of the things that he does amazingly well, just like the clutch throws and all of that stuff. And then 3 plays later, the exact same formation and play, the most boneheaded mistakes ever. So the range of outcomes for Mitch is extremely high. And I hope it falls on the side of him being very good, obviously.
He's not the guy. Does he just stand in front of a video camera and just talk?
No.
Okay.
He has the film going.
I'm like, wait, film. Mr. Trubisky. Why would he do that?
Very statuesque in the background.
Yeah. So did he change? Because when he was coming out of the draft, everyone was calling him Mitch Trubisky, and then he's like, no, it's Mitchell. And now everywhere, all the sites have him as Mitch. So did he finally give in to this or what?
Yeah, I think he just gave in because the media dubs you a certain name. You're almost certainly going to stay with that name.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
And Mitch sounds more, like
Mitchell Trubisky.
Mitchell sounds like you're still living at home with your mum.
Yep. I mean, he did drive exactly with his grandma's car or something like that. So I don't know.
AJ, who do you have?
Listen, we before we hit record, G, we were talking about like who has made the biggest call in terms of riser, like which player has got the most to rise from. And
I thought Daniel Jones was pretty. Well, a big call.
Yeah, it is, but I think mine is too.
But this is ridiculous. This is up there with Kyler Murray as offensive player of the year.
Let's go,
Mr. Josh Rosen.
Hey, there we go.
Miami quarterback who last year, now in his rookie season, he didn't start all the games.
He's not going to start all the games this year either.
No, he won't, but he had 2,278 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and he was 3-10 as starter. But it was the worst offensive line in football. Only their center, Mason Cole, was able to stay healthy for more than 600 snaps. They had 11 different offensive linemen who played at least 100 snaps, and none of them were good. None of them played well. And
the law of averages say we've got to find one.
Right.
And Mike McCoy was the offensive coordinator there. And only there's, when you've some of these coaches, you have had to have had the fan experience of them, and you're the Chargers head coach.
I was going to say, you've had that experience, haven't you?
Oh, my goodness. So, as soon as I knew that fact, it was like, well, that says a lot.
It's hard doing a pod with your co-host when that's your offensive coordinator and you have to do a pod each week and he's in tears.
And he was fired halfway through the season as well.
I became a counselor.
So, look, and Miami, I'm not saying it's necessarily – well, it is a better situation. And I'm not saying it's a great situation, but I think that, Josh Rosen was highly touted. A lot of people really liked his talent coming out for good reason. I think we're going to see that. So and
he's got my boy there.
Yes, Preston Williams.
Oh, yes. There we go.
Yes.
Well, as someone who owns Josh Rosen in that Too Legit league, I hope you're right because we took him over. We traded big draft capital for this season to move up to get our two quarterbacks, and we took Lamar Jackson, and then we took Rosen over Baker. So. Yeah. Hope you're right.
Oh, 100%. Like Lamar was the correct choice. It's just we got cute and took Rosen over.
We felt that it was safer because we felt like Baker was more of a wild card at the time, and since we took a wild card in Lamar, we went that route. And I agree. Rosen gets dumped on so much, and he just was in a horrendous situation. His freaking GM couldn't even be with the team for the first month because he's too busy driving drunk. And then they fired their offensive coordinator like 6 weeks into the season. It was just horrendous. They had nobody around him. I'm rooting for Rosen. I am rooting for him. Separate of the Too Legit team, I am rooting for that kid.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how horrendous that situation was in Arizona last year. I can't remember a single team in the last decade that was that bad. All around, from the front office to the field, everything went wrong in that offense. And David Johnson was still running back then. But yeah. So,
and not to mention, I mean, I do really feel for the guy because a new head coach comes in and it's like, oh, well, we're going to pick a quarterback at 1 and we're going to get rid of you. It's like, what? What the hell's up with that?
Yeah. Well, I already didn't get a fair shake the season before. And now, out of all of the quarterbacks that in the first round that have busted out and everything, Rosen stands out because he did not get a fair shake whatsoever year 1.
No,
he's probably just secretly, he's probably pretty happy he's not there, to be honest.
Probably.
Could be.
You can see your career coming to an abrupt end with one hit because your offensive line can't block.
Now, we heard yours.
Okay.
Randy?
No, we'll do his after we've done our faller. So who's our faller? Take it away, Seth.
The handsome one himself, Jimmy Garoppolo. The fall has already started here, but I think that
one too. I didn't think of Jimmy. That's
San Francisco 49ers.
How do you fall if you're on the ground already?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a fair point, but he last season before he got injured wasn't playing that great. We forget about it because we were watching CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins for most of that season, but the first couple of games he had were not going well. Now, definitely something he could have grown into, and we haven't seen a full season out of him yet. So I could be wrong on this one, but I think the shine's going to come off Jimmy G here, and I think they're going to be looking for their franchise quarterback of the future next season.
Okay.
I can see that happening.
Yep.
For sure. And they talk about paying people money.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle.
I'm going with another QB. I think it's going to be Drew Brees. It's been a good run. What is he, 41 this season? It's not everyone's Tom Brady, and I think we're going to see that cliff come pretty quick for Brees. At the end of last season, he was really rough. And while this is a good team around him, and they have talent with Thomas and Kamara, I'm just not sure it's going to be enough this season. So I'm kind of maybe trying to predict it a year ahead. I've been doing it with Tom Brady for years and been wrong, but I think I'm just going to keep throwing darts. So I'll go with Drew Brees.
No, I can see it after his second half last year was not off the cliff, but you can see him sort of starting to. I've got a bit too close to the edge, and the ground starting to break away from underneath me. You know, it did look like he was really struggling at times.
Yeah, just don't be Peyton, Drew Brees. Yeah, if this is the end, please don't be Peyton Manning on his last season.
Yeah, don't win a Super Bowl.
They can't afford to do that. They don't have that Denver defense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It is a good defense.
And
it's not Denver.
And they don't have Brock Osweiler back him up either. You know, so
they have Taysom Hill.
Oh God, Taysom Hill.
The bane of
he throws one touchdown pass in preseason. Oh my God! We can see he's the quarterback of the future for the Saints.
Enjoy that.
No worries. Yeah. AJ, who you got?
I've got Mr. Big Chest. So from this might be a bit polarizing because I know that some people are super high on AB and think he's just going to come out and absolutely ball. Now, you know, the blonde mo, all the bitching with Big Ben and Juju and the Steelers and all the frozen feet and the helmet. He's a 31-year-old quarterback, and I reckon all that sort of rubbish is just smoke screen for the fact that he's lost a step. It might not be a conscious thing, but I think he's on his way out. And look, he's going to, and I do like Derek Carr, but Derek Carr doesn't have the arm that Big Ben has, you know, and Ben could put the ball exactly where AB needed the ball to be. And so they both benefited from each other. You know, I think he's really going to miss that, you know, as much as he bitches about Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to miss that, man. The first game, and he realizes that the balls that are, you know, just missing him, that he would have gotten. Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to fall. You know, I think it's going to be dramatic.
And I look forward to when he gets knocked out and sues out the NFL because of the helmet he's wearing.
He'll never die.
Nope.
My fall this year is David Johnson. He's not going to fall off a cliff, but I just think for the standard that he's set, unfortunately we really have no idea, even from preseason, what this offense is.
No, we don't.
We bring in this fast-paced air raid spread offense. Who knows? Does it help David Johnson? Don't know. Is the offense any good? Don't know. Is the head coach any good? Don't know. Is the quarterback any good? Don't know. There's too
offensive
many.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
The offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive player of the year.
Offensive player of the year. Woo! We just there's too many unknowns. But one thing we do know is the offensive line sucks. So I just look. He did well last year for what he had, what was asked of him. But this is a whole new ball game now. So I don't know. There's too many unknowns. So as what Randers had put down, I will let you know in 2 secs after I work out what my passcode is on my phone. Randers has as his riser, he has Sam Darnold.
It's a good one.
All right.
As his faller, he too has David Johnson.
Hey,
wow.
Look at that, man.
So there we go.
One mind.
Well, we are. We're sharing a soul at the moment.
You didn't copy his answers, did you?
So
I did. I wasn't very good at school.
Yeah.
I had a look. I didn't copy all of them, though. I want to be a little
I got like maybe 5 minutes, or else I'm going to be spending a lot more time with you guys going forward because I might be divorced. So
okay, all right. Well, we haven't got. Okay. Let's go quickly then. Coach's hot seat. Who's on the hot seat? Seth.
All right. So I have 2 answers to this. One is the coach that it should be, but won't. And then the one that's actually on the hot seat. Jay Gruden. Good Lord. That man needs to get fired immediately. Everything about the Washington Redskins is terrible, including their ownership and GM situation. But you have been mediocre for a decade. You can't do anything except win enough games to keep you out of the top part of the draft. Get out of here. Let that team rebuild, reset. But that won't happen because reasons. The guy that's actually on the hot seat is Bill O'Brien for the Texans. I think that it's very possible that if they don't get this Larry Tunsil thing done and they don't get enough offensive line around Deshaun Watson gets injured. And everybody's going to be pointing to, Andrew Luck, that Ryan Grigson didn't take care of him, and now he's retired, and we can't lose Deshaun Watson. Get out of here, Bill O'Brien. Get someone in here that will get an actual GM, for one, because Bill O'Brien's playing that part. But get someone in here that'll actually take care of the quarterback.
Very good. Kyle, before we get divorced.
Cliff Kingsbury. 1 year. Right now.
1 year.
1 year.
Two 1 year coaches for the Cardinals. That would set that franchise back.
That GM, they're all blow the whole thing to hell. Kyler,
and they go to number 1.
Yeah, that would be great. They get Nick Saban to be the coach, and he drafts Tua, and it's done. I honestly, G said it. I mean, this is question marks out the wazoo, and that offensive line is the one thing we do know, and it is horrible. And this defense is not good. And Patrick Peterson suspended for like 8 games. I mean, this is going to be rough. And I think that that GM, this is it. That was his final bullet, and he went, into this crazy route. I'm not sure if it's going to work, and he could be gone. Everybody could just be cleaned house, and it could just be Kyler just standing there on his box trying to get to 6 feet.
Agreed. AJ?
I've got Mike Vrabel. And I think I think it strongly tied to the Marcus Mariota drama that will play out. And if he keeps Mariota in there when he shouldn't, or if he pulls Mariota, it's a tough situation. And John Robinson, the GM, has been there since 2016, didn't draft Mariota. It could just be, let's get a new coach for 2020 and a new quarterback. Do the whole package.
Yep. So we'll have a new quarterback this year, Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Well,
week 4.
So, all right. On the coach's hot seat, I had Jay Gruden as well, but I'm going to give him a bit of a leave pass because, mate, he's pretty much been given not much to to
more
play
the GM
with.
than the coach.
But look, I'm going to say Jason Garrett. I don't think how good the Cowboys do this year. I think Jason Garrett's gone.
Is Jerry still alive in this?
I think Jerry wants to keep this team together for one reason. One reason only is because Drew Brees will hang it up next year, and we know what happens when he goes. That's the head coach in New Orleans will find his way to Dallas.
Yep.
So I think Jason Garrett is
12 years in the making.
Yeah, yes. So I think Jason Garrett's as good as gone. Yeah. And even I don't think you win in the Super Bowl. Even making the play, I don't think that matters now. I think he's had his time. Okay, we'll do this. This will be our last one. Go to
Kyle first.
And we'll go to Kyle. This is the big call. What is your big call for the 2019 season? Make it big.
Oh, my big call for the season. I'm gonna go with with Darius Geis finishes as a top 12 fantasy running back.
That's not big enough.
No,
that's not big.
Nah, not big enough.
Top 12.
Top 5. Top 5.
There we go. That's better.
All right. Top 12.
With Zeke and Melvin Gordon out, it's actually plausible.
The Geis isn't even a starter right now. That's not big enough. All right. I guess I'll let you down.
Did you send Kyle the message?
I did send
that
it was
a big call.
I did put big. I'm pretty sure I didn't say just a call.
I didn't see any,
big.
I didn't see any message. I can recycle my hot take from the War Zone when I said that James Washington would be a top 24 fantasy wide receiver.
There you go.
There we go. That's better. That's better. Jeez, dude, put him on the block. Don't be, mate. You've been married, dude. It doesn't matter if you're losing now. Useless to you.
There you go.
Trust me.
I'm gonna leave you with that cold take, guys. So it's good chatting with you. I will let
you go, man.
Fellas, but
thank your wife for us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for moving this up so I could at least be a part for a bit. So
hey, no worries, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Do it for you, man. All right.
Too hard.
See ya.
All right, Seth, give us a big call. Let's make it big.
Yeah. So we're still doing play of the year?
Yeah, we'll still do that, mate.
We will.
Yeah. Screw Kyle.
Well, okay. So
now that he's gone, he's not there, is he? Still not there?
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's
so still doing play of the year. So if we weren't going to do that, I was going to make the play of the year the big call because my big call was that Frank Gore would lead the Bills running backs overall in fantasy. I did it before the news came out.
It doesn't look as big now.
It's no longer a big call. Mark Ingram as a top 10 running back, is that big enough? It's not quite Darius Geis.
No, that's not. That's
not
okay. You know what? The Kyler Murray thing was big enough.
Yeah, now we're talking.
And the play of the year is going to blow your friggin' mind. So
I'm looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to that.
Frank Gore.
AJ, big call.
Oh, mine is a big call.
Okay.
Yeah. I said that sometime in the second half of the season, Chad Kelly's going to take over the starting job in Indianapolis. And not only will he bring the Colts tantalizingly close to a playoff berth, he's just going to do enough to put in serious doubt the question of whether they're going to actually go and get a rookie quarterback next year. So he's going to sow the seed. He's going to do super well. And, Jacoby Brissett is very serviceable. Nothing against Brissett, but I think Chad Kelly's going to get his chance, whether it's because Brissett is faltering or there's an injury and he's going to be thrust into the limelight. He almost did it, apart from the fact that he just sort of, it was
rocked up at someone's house on
I was going to say a couple of slices short of a loaf. But he almost had his shot in Denver, man. He didn't think he would get another shot. And the guy, on tape is quite talented. He's going to get a shot to prove it, I believe.
Okay. Oof. All right. Well, that is big. That's right up there with
big call. That's bigger than your call for sure.
Ooh, okay, my big call's not that big, but I made the same one as I did on Memphis on the Dynasty Warzone when I rang up and made the big call. And my big call is that Leonard Fournette will be the leading running back in yards and TDs in 2019.
That is a big call.
Over your Christian McCaffrey, over Kamara.
That ain't happening.
Over when Zeke plays.
It is a big call.
There we go. Okay. All right. Now,
did Randy have one?
Play of Randers?
Did he give you a big call?
Yeah, Randers did give me a big call. He's given me a few things I actually did miss out on. He had Bill O'Brien as the coach on the hot seat, and his big call, he put down Leonard Fournette as going to comeback player of the year after leading the NFL in rushing. And I texted him, dude, you stole my Fournette call after I spoke to him. But it's
one mind, one soul.
Well, he stole it because I told him that on his show. But I said it's high praise for you to agree with me. So he's big call. He goes, okay, big call part 2. Cooper Kupp returns from his ACL and is a top 8 PPR wide receiver and finishes higher than Mike Evans.
Oh, wow.
He had me up to that point. Dude, I love Mike Evans this year.
Wow.
So that's not too bad. I like it, especially because I have a lot of shares in Cooper Kupp.
Mm.
All right. So
Player of the year?
The last of our chat tonight is Player of the Year. Now, we're basing this on a Player of the Year. I think last year the NFL voted on the fact that it was the miracle in Miami, the last play against the Patriots. But it can be anything. I said, for example, it can be the Odell Beckham catch that he made. It can be the Minnesota miracle. It doesn't have to be a turning point of a game. It doesn't have to be for an outcome of a game. It can be absolutely anything. Just something that at the end of the year is something we all remember and something that people will be talking about. So based on that, Seth, what have you got for us, mate? And you said this is bigger than your big call.
It is. It's so utterly ridiculous. I don't know if you want to have some sense of reality and do yours after mine, or it should just be the thing that we end on. I'm going to leave it up to you because it is bonkers.
Mine's pretty bonkers too. But anyway.
All right.
We're all bonkers.
We're all bonkers.
That's true. We are all bonkers for fantasy football. All right. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. And it's a story about a young quarterback in the desert. And to start the season, the Cardinals will play against the Lions. And the preseason aside, they haven't
anyone at that game
about what
any spectators.
They haven't shown the spectators anything. They haven't given their hand away at all. And Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray come out in week 1 against the Lions, and they institute some of this offense. And against the Lions, they do very, very well, surprising a bunch of people. And then next week, again, week 2 against the Ravens, Kyler is shockingly brought back down to earth, and everybody's going to start doubting them again. Over the next 3 or 4, or after the next 4 games, Kyler Murray continues to build back up that offense. And against the Bengals in week 5, he does an excellent performance. And then week 6 happens. It's week 6. We're playing against, they're playing in the desert against the Falcons, Falcons. And they are going lights out. Both these offenses are going lights out. And the crowd is going nuts. We're seeing could this get as big as the Chiefs and Rams game last season? And the play of the year is going to be when Larry Fitzgerald catches his 3rd touchdown of the night for the 10th touchdown of that season already, breaking the record of 11th highest touchdown score of all time, passing Walter Payton. And that also puts the game almost out of reach for the Falcons, but it breaks the highest scoring game record of 113 points.
Oh,
the Falcons end up winning.
Hey!
Because I still think the Cardinals are not going to be able to finish. But boy, oh boy, are the Cardinals going to put up points in this little fantasy world I have contrived. So, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I don't see that. That is fantasy. That is, Middle Earth talking. Yeah. Okay. But that's
I wanted to make
I like it.
Touchdown thing. I thought it was going to be against the Rams, but it sounded better playing against the Falcons. So
yeah, thanks, man. And we win, so I don't care. You can score 5 that day, but we end up winning. That's fine. I'm happy with that. I just want the points. Just give me the win. Just give me the big W.
Yeah, you get a W.
Thank you, AJ.
Okay. Well, I'm going for a moment in the AFC Championship game.
It just dawned on me that Seth has a lot riding on Kyler Murray this year.
Yeah.
Do you have him in a lot of your fantasy leagues?
Almost none of them, actually. Which is I'm covering all my bases. G. If I don't do well in fantasy, I could do very, very well in this prediction show.
Well, you're just trying to moz him on purpose because you don't have shares in him.
No comment.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a tense AFC Championship game. We are talking Chiefs and Browns in the AFC Championship game.
picturing it.
It's an aerial display, and it's going down to the wire. The Browns have just kicked a field goal. They've taken the lead 34-31, and Cleveland City is going bonkers. There's less than a minute to play. After getting a couple of first downs, the Chiefs are closer, but the clock's against them. It's 3rd and 10. Mahomes is hanging in the pocket, but it collapses and he's forced to scramble. He runs to the left. He's running for his absolute life, and there's outstretched hands, just barely almost making contact and bringing him down, but not quite. He slings the ball across his body, 70-yard strike to Tyreek Hill for the touchdown and the AFC Championship game.
He throws the body. He throws the ball. He's running to the left. He's right-handed. He throws the ball across his body for 70 yards.
Yes. To Tyreek Hill.
He's going to do the left-handed throw like he did last season. 70 yards.
Right. No, he's not going to do a left-handed throw. To Tyreek, you reckon in my moment.
Are you sure he's not running to his right?
No, he's not running to his right.
That's a good throw.
Not across his body.
Off balance.
Off balance.
Oh.
For the touchdown and the championship game as the time expires.
Okay, that's a good throw. Are you sure
Tyreek Hill only the film watcher would interrupt that beautiful story to point out an inconsistency of like, how do you throw across your body? Come on now.
You sure didn't throw up 10 yards at Tyreek Hill and he took it the other 60?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's my story. There's like 3 guys that can throw as hard as him.
Yeah, but mate,
bomb at 70 yards.
70-yard bomb thrown.
70 air yards is what you're calling for. I love it. I love it.
That's huge.
I'm giving Larry Fitzgerald 10 touchdowns in week 6.
might as well throw out the whole 100, I reckon,
that's
across his body.
All right.
Okay. Mine is we're in the last game of the home away season. This is why I didn't have the Steelers making the playoffs. They play the Ravens in the last game.
Ooh.
The Steelers are up by 3. It's the last opportunity, the last drive opportunity that the Ravens have. Lamar Jackson finds himself on his own 1-yard line and breaks off a 99-yard run to top Terrell Pryor's 93 touchdown run, which is the NFL record for a quarterback TD run. Also knocking the Steelers out of making the playoffs.
Man, oh man.
Is that game in Pittsburgh?
That's a good question. I actually didn't look at where I don't care where it is, mate. I just like the fact that there's half a part of reality. Okay, it might not come down to that, but there's a pretty good chance that Lamar Jackson could break off a 90-plus yard run this year.
Yeah.
Out of anybody in the NFL, Lamar Jackson is probably the best running quarterback in the NFL, period, in terms of pure running.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
he makes people look stupid. He really does.
Oh,
he has that ability. He has that ability.
17.
If he was a bit bigger build, mate, he'd be a beautiful running back. But he's just obviously not going to be able to take the punishment at running back camp. But man, the dude, if you could get a running back with the way that he moves, with the size of running back and the staying power, mate, you'd be looking at some sort of freak. You'd be looking at Bo Jackson.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, like this is far more closer to my actual fantasy analysis takes, is that I have a lot of Lamar Jackson this season because I think all he needs to do is improve his throwing ability by, I don't know, 15%, which again would not be much. And he's a fantasy force to be reckoned with because you have a lot of speed and agility in that offense in year 2, plus the rushing ability. Man, I mean, he's a top 3 fantasy quarterback upside this year.
Yeah, and mate, just keep an eye on Justice Hill because of Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Mate, that's going to open up some big running lanes for someone like Justice Hill, man, and he's going to chew up yards very, very quickly.
Yeah, split him out wide and make him Duke Johnson. Have Mark Ingram and him on the field at the same time. Then you got Miles Boykin on the side, Marquise Brown in the slot or on the opposite of Miles Boykin. it's an offense along with Mark Andrews and all of the 27 tight ends that they usually roster. On paper, this could be a very fun offense.
Well, I think Mark Andrews already showed himself that, mate, you have to cover me.
Right. Yeah, I'm not blocking tight. I'm not just blocking tight end. I can make you
I can
pay.
get down the field, make you pay for just let me sort of roam. So,
well,
listen,
right.
That wraps it up.
It does. That was fantastic. And
let Seth go and enjoy his Saturday morning. What's left of it? Any plans, mate? What are the plans today?
I have. Oh wait, I don't have a fantasy draft today. That's weird. I've had like one every day this week, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Did Randy have a big play though?
He does actually. I was just looking it up. Thanks, Seth. His big play. Carson Wentz runs a naked bootleg to win the division. Oh, geez, I'm glad that Kyle's gone from Dallas in week 16.
I love it. Love it. Out of all of our plays, that is probably the most likely thing to happen.
Yeah. That is based purely in reality.
Yeah. Well, except for the fact where Carson Wentz is available in week 16, but
that's and that he's naked on the football field. I don't get that, and why he's running just naked with a pair of boots on. But there you go. There you go,
man. Well, listen.
Okay, where can everybody find the fellas, mate?
Yeah, so on Twitter at the FF Fellas, and then our podcast drop everywhere where podcasts are usually found. The Fantasy Football Fellas. Just search Fellas in the Apple Podcast or wherever podcasts are found. Like I said, hit subscribe. And during the season, we're 4 episodes a week.
That's just freaky, man. You guys are a machine.
We really do love our work. As we say. So we love doing it. They're usually shorter episodes than your traditional like 1 hour episodes. And we're always available at like 4 a.m. Just for your morning commute. So that's one way we like to be available for our listeners.
Mate, that's nice. Great. That's awesome, dude. That really is. Mate, and to pump it out every day, almost every day, 4 days a week. That to me and AJ, takes us a month to do that. That's incredible, mate. But you guys are a great listen.
Here.
Yeah. I get a bit sick of Seth's voice. Of Kyle's voice. But, no, I don't. Not really. But yeah, you should give the guys a listen for sure. You probably, as you done, mate, you pump them at that. You might not be listening to everyone every week, but mate, you're going to cover a lot of content. In 4 shows a week.
Yeah, exactly. And a shout out to Randers who was on earlier. Dynasty Warzone. And I just very recently did the Colts preview with him. That was prior to the Andrew Luck news, which was unfortunate. But what can you do? It's just the nature of this kind of.
At DFF Memphis for his Twitter handle. So he's an awesome follow and an awesome listen on the Dynasty Warzone pod. You should definitely check them out.
And he has been, if you follow him, he has been getting a little bit salty of late on his Twitter, which is great.
Right. And Jerry's followed you, G, world traveler, or at least state traveler. I think he's just been on vacation the last couple of weeks.
Who's that?
Jerry.
Jerry has.
Oh, has he? Where's he been?
Same place as you, probably. You were probably riding bikes in Austria together, weren't you?
Yeah. It was. I don't go uphill, mate. So he was just pushing it up, and then I just take it down. So, all good. All right, mate. We'll let you go. Thanks very much for being on. Greatly appreciate it. And
love these episodes that we do. So keep killing it in Down Under, and we'll talk soon.
All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, and thanks everybody. If you're listening to this or if you've tuned in, we appreciate it. And it is kind of late here, and this is getting on, so we better wrap it up. But thank you very much. Appreciate you tuning in, and the season's almost upon us. And we will go back at the end of this, G.
As we do every year. And we'll see how many we get right, and most of them we get wrong. But it's all just a part of just getting together with some mates and just chatting football, really, isn't it? It's just an excuse.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's very, very hard to actually nail these sorts of predictions down.
Oh, yeah,
that's where it comes.
There's so much that rides on it. There's coaches' decisions. There's office decisions that change players around, and we trade this, and this season's not going too well. This guy will give him away, and there's injuries, and there's weather, and there's God knows what else.
Yep.
So yeah, they're all hard, but it's just, like I said, it's just a bit of fun. A group of guys getting together and having a bit of chat, and just an excuse, mate. Just an excuse.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I need to go.
We got a draft very soon. So
we do actually. Yeah, we do. So on behalf of G and myself, thank you everybody for listening, and we will catch you next time. See you later. And I'll hit end broadcast on here and close it all off. Catch you later.